Hey, Sean here from IQ Barbecue, and today we're making the most requested item on our social media sites, Nashville Hot Chicken. Stay tuned. So, Nashville Hot Chicken, it's something that every barbecue restaurant in this country, especially in the South, makes, and national chains like KFC and Popeyes have really gotten into this, and it's becoming so popular. So, I'm gonna show you how to make it our way today. It's a little bit different. We're gonna make some sandwiches, but we're gonna add a few twists to it along the ways, and we're gonna start with chicken thighs and chicken breasts. Now, I'm always going to default to a chicken thigh. I just think they're juicier, the dark meat, more flavor, but a lot of people want a chicken breast sandwich, so we're going to make both for you and show you how to make both, and you can make both of them real easily, and they're both great. So, start with our chicken thighs. Again, these are boneless chicken thighs, skinless as well. Again, I'm not going to do any real trimming on these. I want to leave as much texture on here as I possibly can, and that's going to help more of that breading adhere to the chicken. However, our chicken breasts are pretty good size, and these aren't going to cook at the same rate as these chicken thighs. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim these breasts down and get them a little bit better size for our sandwiches. So that's going to start with, we'll set this aside. Start with taking this chicken breast. We're basically just going to cut it in half, and that'll get us kind of the thickness we want, and then I'll square it off so just so it fits in the bun better. So just start by grabbing kind of one end of the chicken and just cutting right across it. Real simple. When you get to a certain point there, you kind of just keep cutting here, and just like that. And you know, we're going to end up here essentially with 4 pieces of chicken breast. And I like doing this, you know, because a lot of people would rather have the breast than the thigh. I'm not one of those people, however. I like the chicken thigh. But again, you can do it either way. So now we have our 4 chicken breasts separated. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim these off a little bit, just because I can kind of get them the size we want. This will leave us these scraps will also leave us some ability to make some little chicken strips. So there's one. Square this one off as well, this one, and the last one. There we go. And again, we'll use those chicken scraps for some chicken strips. So now that we have our chicken all cut up, ready to go, let's brine it. And so there's a ton of ways to brine your chicken, and most of the ways you'll see on places like YouTube and other social media sites, you're going to see people use buttermilk. I'm not a fan of buttermilk when I'm making something that's hot. If I were just making fried chicken, absolutely, but we're not doing that today. So we're going to use something different, and that's going to be pickle juice. And so you can use this right out of a pickle jar. You can use your excess pickle juice if you like, or it's simple enough just to buy a gallon of pickle juice. So, and I'll put the links of everything I'm using today and where I got it down in the description below. The next thing, and this is the key. If you've never used a brining bucket, these things are a lifesaver. And this is a Briner Mini. They make different sizes. This is actually a brand. I love this thing. It is so simple, such a great idea. So you have a bucket, and inside the bucket, if you see here, you've got notches. And those notches coincide with this plate we're going to put on. And this plate puts pressure on whatever you're brining, and that keeps all your protein in the liquid during the brining process. Thing's a lifesaver. Again, I'll put that in the description below as well. So we're going to start here with our brining bucket and our chicken. So we're going to take our piece of chicken. We're just going to put them inside of our brining bucket. And be surprised, this is a Brining Bucket Mini. It actually holds quite a lot of meat. And I'll put our scraps in there as well, like we said. We don't want to have any of this stuff go to waste. Okay. And so once you're done, you have something that looks a little bit like this. Now, kind of push it down a little bit. Now we'll take our pickle juice. And we just want to, basically with our pickle juice, all we're really doing is just trying to get coverage. We're not trying to, have it 4 or 5 inches above the chicken. You just want to have the chicken covered with the pickle juice. That's all you're trying to do. So we're going to go ahead and pour our pickle juice in here. And about right there. All right. Now, talked about this plate. This plate is so cool. So you're going to take this plate. It's going to line up with these tabs. You're going to turn the plate. So what this does is it keeps pressure on whenever you're brining, right? And so make sure everything stays under the brining solution for the entire brine. So it's perfect. This thing is a lifesaver. So we're going to put our cover on it. So we're going to put this in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. Come back, and we'll fry these up. Okay, so now we're back. We've got our chicken brined. Let's take a look at how it came out. And so the one thing about using a pickle brine is your chicken's going to come out with a little bit of a green tint to it, which is exactly what we want. Again, we want that sweet sourness of the pickle, and you can kind of get the idea of that color that I'm talking about. So we'll take all the chicken here out of the brine, and what we're going to do is get this thing ready to fry up. And again, I tend to think that about 2 hours in the brine is just about perfect. You're not looking to, get an overwhelming amount in there, and so you just want to get a nice balanced amount. So anything any more than that is probably not a good idea. So about 2 hours is perfect. So now that we have our chicken all ready, we're going to go ahead and bread this up, and this is a real easy step. Okay, so the next part we're going to do is we're going to make our dredge and get our breading going. So I've got 2 bowls here. So in one bowl I have some flavored flour to bread the chicken with, and I'll put the ingredients that are in there. Basically, it's just flour, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder in a bowl. And then we're basically going to take another bowl here, and that's where we'll put our wash. And so our wash is going to basically consist of 3 eggs. So I'm going to take 3 eggs. I'm just going to whisk these up. Pour them in our bowl here. And then we're going to put some buttermilk in there as well. Now, we didn't use the buttermilk at the beginning, but we are going to use it here for the dredge. And I'm going to put about 1.5 cups of buttermilk in there. Okay. And we're going to mix that up. Now, want a little bit of seasoning in there as well. And so we typically make our own seasonings here. However, our seasonings tend to be a little bit sweeter for chicken specifically, especially for competition. So today we're going to be putting some Kosmo Q Dirty Bird Hot. I think it's kind of the perfect combination. We make our own rubs here, but our rubs tend to be a little more honey-based, a little sweeter. This is going to give you a little more of a kick, and it's perfect for this sandwich. And so we're going to add a couple teaspoons here. And again, this is not where you're going to get most of your heat. This is just going to give us a little more seasoning for our breading. You can put a little bit more in there if you want, but I try to think a couple teaspoons is just about perfect. You get a nice color for your egg and flour mixture, and so perfect. Okay, so now we have that in there. I'm going to add a teaspoon of just Frank's red hot sauce. And that will complete our egg mixture. So again, 3 eggs, about 1.5 cups of buttermilk, a little bit of spicy seasoning, which I use the Kosmo Q Dirty Bird Hot, and then about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of just Frank's Red Hot. How I dredge these is I want to do 2 steps here. So I'm going to first start by putting them in the flour and get a good coating in the flour to begin with. Okay, and then I'm going to add it to our egg wash and get a good coating from the egg, and then back into the flour again. Now, here's the thing. If you want to, you can absolutely do this another time. You can put it back in the egg wash and then back in the flour again. I tend to think this is a pretty good combination. This is also going to be fairly messy, so make sure you give yourself a little space to work. Okay, so now we're going to just repeat this process for each of our pieces of chicken until they're all perfectly coated. And again, you want to make sure you get a nice coating on each one. Don't feel like you're going to put too much on there. Make sure you get all those little areas and fill them in with flour, and then make sure you get a good coating of the wash, and then again, back in the flour. And then we'll get them in the fryer. And our last couple pieces of chicken here, I think we're going to probably have just enough flour here to finish this. And again, I hope you're enjoying this so far. If you are, hit that like button and that subscribe button, and make sure you get notified when all our videos go up. So hit that post notification bell as well. Okay, so now we're going to put our chicken in the oil. Oil's at 350 degrees. Let's get our chicken in there, frying for maybe about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. Take it out, and we're ready to take our next step. Okay, these are done. All out of the oil. Look at that. Fried perfectly. Tender, juicy. I even took a piece. It's incredible. So, but we're not done. Now we're going to put a sauce over the top. And this is where we're going to get the rest of the heat for this sandwich. We're going to put them on buns that I actually made earlier this morning. And these rolls are a potato sour cream roll. And again, I'll put the recipe down below how I made these. And they're perfect because, again, a little bit of the sweetness of the roll goes perfect with this, again, with the heat of the Nashville Hot Chicken Sandwich. So let's go ahead and start building this. But first, let's make our sauce. So our sauce is going to start with, move this out of the way, pretty simple. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 1 cup of the oil we use to fry the chicken in. And we're going to add that. This is a key part. Again, that gives all the flavor that we imparted into this chicken is in the oil. Okay, so we've got our 1 cup of oil from our fryer. And again, that's all that chicken, all that breading, imparted all that flavor into the oil. We're going to use that. So 1 cup of oil, a little more or less is going to be fine, just as long as you have enough to coat all the chicken that you have. Now we're going to add a couple things to it. First thing we're going to add is some brown sugar. And about, a tablespoon. The next thing, some cayenne pepper, about 2 tablespoons. Now, again, you can add a little more or a little less to it and make it exactly what you're looking for as far as temperature. Again, you can put a little more cayenne in here, a little less cayenne. It's totally up to you. But I find that kind of 2 teaspoons of it is just about right. But again, it's totally up to you. We're going to mix this up. Now, one last thing though, I'm going to add a little more of this Dirty Bird Hot. Again, I just love this stuff. So we're going to add a little bit more to this. Again, about a teaspoon is good. Now, don't worry about this has some lumps in it from the brown sugar. It's fine. The simplest way to do this for me is, again, just some mayonnaise, pickles, chicken, bread, simple. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of Japanese mayonnaise. Again, know me, know I love Japanese mayonnaise. If you can't find it at your local store, you can always get it online. And I just like the extra little bit of flavor that it gives. And don't be shy with the mayonnaise. Put quite a bit on there again. And that balance between that heat and smoothness of the mayonnaise really is what makes really what sets it off. So next, gotta have some pickles, right? Okay. All right. Now our chicken. We'll take, I think this chicken breast right there. Wow, look how good that looks. Now, that last key, this sauce. And what you're gonna do is just gonna basically ladle this sauce right over the top of the chicken, like this. That's gonna give you the rest of your heat that you're looking for, and that's gonna make it incredible as well. And the top, and guys, that's your Nashville Hot Chicken Sandwich. So guys, it's as easy as that. Such a simple thing to make. I understand you gotta fry it, you gotta bread it. It's gonna take a little bit of work, but it's not without its benefits at the end, because you cannot get a sandwich like this at a fast food restaurant. You just simply can't do it, can't be done. But with all that being said, let's stop talking, let's take a bite. I mean, guys, and look at that. I mean, look at that. That is just incredible. Oh. Hear the crunch? So good. Now that heat's coming in. So you can really taste that kind of twanginess of the pickle juice that we brine this in. That comes through almost with a little bit of a bitter flavor with the pickles, but the Japanese mayonnaise smooths that out. The fresh made sour cream potato rolls we made, again, that recipe will be down below, are just perfect with this. They're creamier, have a little sweeter taste to them, goes well with that hot chicken and that hot sauce on top. It's just perfect. It's just a perfect combination. Another way to think about this, if you wanted something a little healthier option versus having to fry it, why not just put it in an air fryer? Bread it the same way, spritz some oil on top of it, put it in your air fryer. Less of a mess, and it gives you a much healthier option. So you can really play with this recipe and do a lot of things with it, and it will be good either way. Again, all the recipes for this, all the equipment used, everything is down below. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you did, like our channel, subscribe, and also hit that post notification bell so you get updated whenever we put out a new video, which is every week. And again, follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can get great recipes and advice from all our cooks and grill masters here at IQ Barbecue. We're here to help. Also, remember, our merch is dropping in just about a month. Make America Grill Again is coming out. We had 11 other shirts that are going to be coming out as well. They're fantastic. We'll have the link down below here in a couple weeks, and you'll be able to purchase those. So again, with IQ Barbecue, everyone can be a genius in the kitchen. I'm gonna get back to this Nashville Hot Chicken Sandwich. Have a great rest of your day.